everyone, welcome to another video of Siyathandwa Says. So today we're back with our financial series. Yes, I've been scarce, guys, but we're working on it. We're working on the commitment. So this video is inspired by someone in the comments who in the previous videos say that they want a video about credit and how to manage credit and how to manage debt and how to improve your credit score, right? So credit is something that I assume that we all have a love-hate relationship with. I mean, we need it in times of trouble, but sometimes it becomes the trouble at some point if you do not manage it wisely. So credit basically is using money that is not your own. You are either using money from the bank, either money from the store, of which you will earn interest for using or taking out type of thing. So it could be in the form of a credit card, it could be in the form of a clothing account, it could be in the form of a furniture account where you take out a bed and you want to pay that off. It could be in the form of what else can we get on credit? Your phone that you get on contract, that is a credit account. It could be in the form of an actual car loan and all of that. So, but obviously with credit, the unfortunate thing is that you can't just start out high. You need to start out low and work your way high so that by the time you want to purchase big things such as purchasing a vehicle, at least there's a credit history that you have in order to ensure that you have a favorable interest rate behind you. And that is honestly why we work with credit. I think personally for me, that was why I got into credit in the first place, because I was just like, you know what, I am just honestly working towards when I have to buy a car, at least the credit history I service, by in terms of why it's non-existent. And that is how most of us get into credit. That is the lie that is sold to us, and we buy it, and that is why most of us have credit now. So that is what credit is. You don't have money now, you use something, you use a store, or bank, or whatever. You get into this credit agreement that has high interest rates in order for you to purchase whatever you want, but at some point you pay the money back. Now, this is where the problem starts. We don't pay the money back. We do, but not perhaps to the speed that is to our benefit. Or sometimes you have a rough month and then you are unable to pay back your TFG account or something like that. As you are still having an outstanding debt, you take out another debt on top of that debt. So you took out a top there at the fix for 200 rand, and then as you are still paying off this 200 rand, you take out another shoe, and then as you're paying off the shoe and the top together, you take out something else, and then it just never ends. It's an ongoing cycle. You think it's about to end, and then you look at your statement and you're like, extra interest. Hey man, when am I finishing this debt? That's how credit goes. And I think we're so negligent when it comes to looking at the interest rate. We only calculate the interest rate, and then all of a sudden when you look at your statement, there's like, okay, it's your interest rate, then it's credit insurance, and then it's life insurance for this thing, and you're like thinking, I bought some life insurance for an item. That was me when I bought my bed, guys. I bought my bed on credit, and I was like, why does this bed have life insurance? I'm so pissed because I bought signer. So you get all of these fees, and you're like, oh my god, it's like you're not only now chasing credit, but you're chasing other fees that are attached to this credit. So it gets to become a very slippery slope. And obviously, the higher the amount that you buy on, the higher, the more steep the slope is. So how do we manage it and try to get ahead of this thing called credit to the point that it is not to our detriment, right? First things first, guys. Pay your credit on time. Pay your credit on time. I don't care what you have to forego first or what must move. Well, you told yourself you're going to buy yourself 1,000 rands groceries. You better buy yourself 800 rands worth groceries, because you're going to start with that credit of yours. Because I cannot emphasize how hurtful one missed payment can be on your credit score, right? So wherever you can, whatever you do, try to pay your credit on time. Let it be the first thing that you pay off after you've already accounted for your savings. Remember, look in our previous video, we said that you save first, then spend what's the rest. So after you've saved, spend what's rest, you're spending what's the rest. The first thing you do is to pay off all your debts. Who do you own? Who do you owe? What is the biggest debt? No. You don't look at what is the biggest debt. What has the highest interest rate? Because whatever has the highest interest rate has the chance of hurting you more than whatever your biggest debt is. So for example, if I bought a bed kwa Russell's 5,000 rand, ne, that is my biggest debt. But UTFG, no one taking into 300 rand. If that interest rate is, for example, 30% and my Russell's is 15%, I better pay off this debt that has this 30% more, because that can compound and accumulate very quickly to the point where I can lose track of it. So try to pay off whatever has the highest interest rate. You obviously must do your case. So I said pay your debt off on time, starting with the highest interest rate first, and then followed by obviously your biggest amount of debt. And don't compromise about you paying your debt, guys. Don't, everything else must rather pass you, but pay off your debt first. Don't believe that lie by, what if I don't pay. It's not like in Zawbandra and stuff. Like, guys, it does really bad stuff to your credit history if you guys decide to skip payments or to not pay debt off at all. And then don't close an account just because you've finished it off. Rather let it simmer, let it stay there. Another tip, do not use more than 30% of the allocated credit to you. This is also something that they catch us out with. So I don't know how many of you guys have the ClearScore app, but the ClearScore app is an app that helps you track and monitor your credit history. You just put in your ID number and your name, and then I think it just tells you your score and then tips of how you can improve your score. I highly recommend that app because that is somewhere where you can check your credit score without being penalized for checking. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but every time you actually try to apply for credit, for example, if you go to a store and they say we want to give you credit, can we check your credit history? Every time they inquire that history of yours, you get penalized actually for that. If I want to finance a car and I keep going to these car dealerships and I say that they can run a credit history or check on me, that impacts my credit score. It hurts it. So by all means, try to limit how many credit checks that you have from official places, like credit checks for when you want to open a clothing account or finance a car. Limit is azinto, because that will definitely impact your credit score and make it go down by a few points. So don't constantly be checking on these official places or having people run credit checks on you. So if you want to check your credit score, how it's doing without impacting your credit score, get the ClearScore app and it'll give you pointers as to how to as to where your score is. But while we're on that, I said, but do not use more than 30% of your allocated debt or credit. So if I am allocated 10,000 Rand on my credit card, I should not use more than 3,000 Rand on my credit card if I wanted to look great on my credit score. So as soon as I use more than 30% of credit, it doesn't look good. It means that if I have credit to none, there's like seven you're gonna credit because they are so cola. Actually, guys, I don't know if that's the logic there, but all I know is that if you have a high usage of 30% utilization for your debt, I don't know, it affects your credit score, then it goes down, and these are things that I've learned through using the ClearScore app as well. So I don't know what the logic is there, but I assume that if you have debt, don't use all of that debt. That is not a good move for you. So in the same breath, I'm going to say try to keep your credit limits high. And once again, this requires someone that has a lot of discipline, because if I have a credit card that has 20,000 Rand limit on it, best believe, and this also means that 20,000 Rand Nakula credit card, because I know that Siatano does not have 20,000 Rand. That is the bank's 20,000 Rand. So, but I would rather keep that limit high so that 30% utilization rate is not so, is not easily reached, and that obviously can show by I'm a good person, that even though I have credit, I don't even use most of my credit type of thing. So it works in my favor. But like I said, that requires discipline from me as the user to not abuse my credit. So we have our 3 tips now. Pay debt on time, pay your highest first, highest interest rate first, and pay your largest debt second. And what is our second tip, guys? There's different 9 tips, Sam. Our second tip was blank, but our third tip was try to use less than 30% of your credit rate, 30% of your credit limit. And then what I wanted to say again as well is that do not default to using a clothing account to try boost your credit score. I know that when you're a student, it seems like the only way to boost your credit, but trust me, there are actually things called student credit cards. The first way I created debt was through a student credit card with ABSA, and that student credit card, I think, had a credit limit of 200 rand, of which it's fine because as a student, that is all I can manage. Nyan, 200 rand. And with that credit card, guys, I built my credit score so well, like you'll be surprised. And the smart thing that I realized, which is what most people abanemali and good credit scores actually do, is that I would transfer all my money to my credit card and use that credit card. So now what does this do basically? So Pakukla Credit Bureau, they see all this credit activity, but they don't see me actually incurring debt. Okanye kubone, like I don't go into the red, but I'm having all this credit activity. So somewhere, somehow, it does wonders for your credit score. it makes your credit go up. So that is also something that I would advise. Even if you're an adult, if you have a credit card, transfer all your money to that credit card and use that credit card as your day-to-day banking card, because the activity that is there, but you're not, using above your credit utilization rate, is very good for your credit score and your credit report. So that is also another way that you can help to boost your credit. And then the last and final thing, do not make credit for something that you can actually buy in cash, guys. Yo, sana. Besides gay credit card to get point. But what I despise about clothing accounts is the fact that you could buy this cash, but you're just choosing not to. Because of timing or whatever, you're choosing not to buy this thing cash. Do you really want to be called and hounded by a clothing account because you bought something that you could have bought cash? No, man, guys. I don't know, man. I just think that it's more sensible for us to be buying, like, for example, a bed on credit, because you move to a new place, you're starting a new job, and you don't have money to buy a bed yet. Buy that bed on credit. It's fine, type of thing. But to buy a pair of shoes on credit, hi, guys, no, man. We're abusing credit if we're doing that. And also remember, credit can become a bad habit. If you are used to living the life of buying things on credit or borrowing money from Izalayo, it becomes a bad habit. So if you can't buy something cash, rather just wait it out and buy it cash. But if you really do have to make your big purchases, like I said, your appliances, your bed, whatever, then go ahead, buy that. You use a store account and then obviously pay that thing off on credit. Also, please do be mindful. Check the percentage of the interest that you are charged. I think when I was going to buy a bed on credit, now I used to check, what is the Russell's store interest rate? What is interest rate? Sleep Masters. What is interest rate? Just to check where can I get the lowest credit score, your interest rate for the bed that I'm buying, because if I can save a 1% of interest, then let me save a 1% of interest in Dagabawo. Yeah, but just also do those checks if you have the time. And guys, there's always time to do those checks. And then last but not least, pay ahead. Pay that extra. I think for my bed, I had a contract of 2 years. I paid it off in 1 year because whenever I had a spare 300 rand lying around in my excess cash, I'd pay towards that bed account. Wherever I had an extra 100 rand, pay towards that. Essentially, guys, you shouldn't rest when you have debt. You shouldn't sleep when you have debts. You should be wanting to pay it off and think about, oh my gosh, I need to be paying this thing off. So whenever you have excess cash, please do pay towards your debts, whether it's your car, whether it's your house, whether it's your clothing account, whether it's your furniture. Just pay it off. And it obviously helps in decreasing the capital amount that capital amount is the initial credit amount, and then interest is just the amount added on. It really just helps in reducing the interest rate that you are paying, and also helps in reducing just the next installment or even the next payment that you have to make. You'll even notice on your statement because the amount due for your next one might not be the normal amount that's due. It will be lower than that. But don't now reduce to match that. Pay what you're initially supposed to pay. Then when you have excess, pay again over that. And guys, you will finish your debt in ABC 1, 2, 3. So just be wise about it. Go into it open-mindedly. And I promise you, credit will become your best friend. It will not be something that you have to fear. It will not be something that I will call your phone. Oh my gosh, I don't want to answer this call because you don't know if it's your debtors, your creditors coming after you. Just really make it work to your advantage. And if something happens, for example, COVID happens, all of a sudden you don't have a job, call your creditors, communicate between them. Communication is your best friend. And just let them know of the situation, let them know that you'll make arrangements, or ask them what arrangements can they make for you, because you'd be surprised. You can say about, okay, we can suspend your payments for about 3 months, and then you'll pick it up after there. But do not shy away. Don't do what our parents did. Don't answer that call. Don't answer the call. We do not answer that call. Let us not be like them. Please answer that call. Make arrangements with your creditors. Let them know you will not be able to pay. And yeah, watch your credit score grow and watch yourself do amazing and great things. So yeah, guys, all the best. I hope this helps. And I hope, Zike, you're enlightened with all the credit advice that you need as a young adult in this adulting world. Otherwise, guys, till the next video, same time, same place. Siyanithanda. Stay blessed and siyathandwa inkosi. Till next time. Bye-bye.